CapnBart and I and his wife are going out to the professor's for a camp out, and I'm following him. I'm trying to stay back far enough where I'm not, you know, showing exactly what kind of car or nothing like that he drives, because that would invade his privacy. But just wanted to let y'all know what's going on. And I got all my crap down here, and some of it's in the back, but it's supposed to get down into the 50s tonight. It was 53 this morning when I got up. Right now it's about 7:45, and we got about an hour and a half, 2-hour drive ahead of us. And so anyway, I'll see you guys here in a bit. Alright, y'all, we're at the professor's, and I rigged up my setup here. Got the War Bonnet Blackbird, and got my tarp rigged out. I had to do some clearing here because there's lots of briars and that. Rigged up here. This one I think I'm going to end up making a bit longer piece of tape here, because that I don't usually tie to this big of trees, because where I'm normally camped there's not this big of trees, but this is working for me. And then the tarp, I don't think it's going to rain tonight, but what I did was, since I don't have anything else to tie out to out here, I just got these big dead sticks and tied it around here, and then went down to a stake, and that holds it real nice and flat, and that'll keep me good and clear. The one thing we do have to watch out for at this camp is cow pies. I've been trying to clear my area here, because earlier I was down there, I went to clear, I was chopping on this guy here, and I slipped and hit my shin. I don't know if you can see that kind of or not. It's just a real tiny little cut in my pants, and it left just a little bitty cut on my leg, but it's deep. And I didn't even feel it cut me. In fact, after I got it done, I was still chopping, and because I just thought I hit it and it didn't cut me, until I stepped a few more, you know, about 5 minutes after that. I lifted it up, my sock was completely coated with blood, tied on in it. So luckily, I've had the blowout patch on for about an hour. We got rid of that, and I've got some non-stick with some antibacterial goo, and then around that is wrapped like a ace bandage to hold everything on, just because I didn't want to put tape on my ankle, on my leg. But this is working really well. The bag I showed you guys before. I got a better way of doing this, but this works. Piece of paracord around the tree. I just looped it around itself a couple times and then tied my bag to it, and that holds it at an accessible level. I can get in and out of here real easy for whatever I need. This camera here has been pooping out on me. Something wrong with the memory card. In fact, I left the camera itself in my truck. But so far so good. I'm not going to worry about clearing that out, because I don't need to, because my hammock's facing this way. And then CapnBart big old tent, and they're going to be staying in there. And there's my truck. And we started a fire.
Yeah, I know what you would have done.
We started a fire, and they're starting to cook already. Alright, everybody. We went for CapnBart the Professor and I went for a walk earlier, and ended up with a nice chunk of cedar here for bow drill boards, and another nice chunk of cedar there for bow drill spindles. A nice piece of mullein here for hand drills, and a nice big bag of tinder with some river birch bark. I think that's hickory, and in there somewhere is some thistledown.
This is black locust, isn't it?
No.
Is that cedar?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, it's not cedar. It's
Wood.
hickory, I think.
Don't help.
and I'm going to split that down and try to get some of that into a tinder bag. And it was kind of cool because I learned that I need to carry some kind of kit with me for hikes like that, because I don't want to carry my full backpack, but yet I need something. I end up with this walking stick too, this nice piece of, I don't know what this is, but it's got a nice crook on the top, and I cut that down with my sack farmer, and made a nice walking stick out of it. But the shin's doing pretty good. That's, I feel the bruise more than anything. But anyway, and they got food on the go.
Pictures later.
Use that mat.
It's gonna go in.
I just got in my hammock in this big old nasty thing. It's some kind of, it looks like a giant wasp, and its stinger is huge. And I traced it around my hammock for a while, and I finally got it to where it was I could get it down in my bag, and I crushed it and then I burned it. And here in a second I'm gonna flip it outside the hammock. But that thing's creepy looking. It's huge. Alright. Just got into my hammock for the night. I have no clue what time it is. You can see I got my green fleece bag on me. But that the bug I showed you is why I don't like to have my bag, my sleeping bag, in anything where bugs can get in it, because you don't know what kind of bugs are going to get in it. I'm not afraid of bugs, but if they can sting me, I don't like them. I'm not allergic to it, but that thing, I have no clue what that thing even was. It had a huge stinger, and it was about 1.5 inches long. That thing was about this long when it was fully, together. Something like a gnat or a fly or something like that I'm not scared of. But like mosquitoes, I don't want them in here because they'll be biting me all night. This thing, whatever it was, I ended up burning its wings off, and I got it to where I could flip it outside, which was good. So I've got my bush journal here and my survival quarterly there, and so I got my green fleece bag on me, and underneath me is my Wooby that I got from CapnBart. I'm using that as my insulation, my back insulation for the night. And so that's what's up. See, there's another little bug. It's not very big, but I don't like bugs in here with me. Like I said, it's not that I'm afraid of them. I just don't want them in here when I'm trying to sleep. So I got the mosquito net. So anyway, that's gonna be that. I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but the fire's still going out there. We were out there talking for quite a while. Wonderful dinner of pot roast and potatoes and onions and cornbread and I can't remember what they called it, but it was some kind of apples that they caramelized, and they were really soft. Fried apples or something like that. But thank you guys for cooking and sharing your food with me. That was awesome. That was really good food too. And then I had a couple good cups of really, really strong coffee. Really, really awesome day. Awesome time so far. Out here, we're way out in the country, and there's no light pollution from the cities and that. So you can see the stars as bright as I think I've ever seen them. It's just beautiful out there. Alright, y'all. It's the middle of the night. I have no clue what time it is. But everybody's still asleep. When I went to bed, I had this Wooby, which is very thin, folded in half, so it was still the full length, half the width, and I had it laid in here, and I was laying on top of it. So this material is a vapor barrier, and you get a lot of moisture. That's one downside to it. although it was meant to go under a poncho. So what I did is I got kind of cold, not really cold, but just chilly, uncomfortably cool, let's call it that, and I woke up several times. I just rolled over and went back to sleep, but I decided I needed to get up anyway to use the restroom, so I got up and went over there, and it doesn't look like it now, but that's quite a ways away. I stoked the fire up real good, and I sat around it for a little while with my fleece wrapped around me, and got warmed up and kind of dried out because there was a lot of moisture. And so there's a bug turn again, but then I got to thinking about how I can add warmth. Well, one of the ways is I added my thermarest, one of my thermarests under me, and that's from my neck all the way down to just below my butt, and that'll keep my back plenty warm. And then cover up with my fleece, and then top that off with the whoopee. What I'll do is, you can see I've got my feet wrapped up as if I was a sleeping bag all the way up to my knees, and then I'm covering up with my fleece, and if I need it, I can pull this up. But I don't want to pull this up unless I need it, because like I said, it's a vapor barrier, so it'll hold a lot of moisture. It's just kind of dewy and damp right now. We'll see. But I was having some crazy dreams, and need to get up there. So. Alright, well, everybody's up, and we get the fire going, and I got coffee going there. They got coffee going in a French press. Sausage going here. They're putting sausage on over there too. We always try to keep a big thing of hot water. That's something I learned from Professor over here. And that way it's good for cleanup or whatever you need it for. And my shirt got a little wet yesterday, so I put it on this little half-assed drying rack. And I'm fixing to get me some coffee going. And I think that's it for now. Alright, if you guys, most of you guys know all this already, but a lot of times when you put a tarp up by morning, it's kind of slack. And this tarp's kind of slack anyway, so I didn't really tie it tight, but when you tie a piece of cord on like that and come out, I just wrapped it around the stick and put it through itself once, you can see it there, and then came down to a stake. Well, as this thing gets slack, the stick just kind of pulls down and keeps it tight. So it's pretty much tight the entire way. It worked out really well. And the only reason I did it is because I didn't have anything else to tie it out to. Unless I went straight down the ground, I didn't want to do that. But other than having some kind of big nasty wasp in my hammock last night, everything went great. I did end up getting cold in the night. And so I got up and when I went to bed, I had this folded in half. So it was still the full length, just in half widthwise. And had that laying out here in the bottom and this covering me up. And I just didn't stay warm enough with that. It wasn't like I was freezing or nothing like that, but I was a little bit chilly. And I had some problems with condensation. And that's because I'm thinking it's because this hammock, even though it's got mosquito netting, it's so fine of a weave. Like if I smoke inside of here, the smoke just kind of stays still. Even though air can get through it, it's not enough to really, keep the cool portion out, or the moist portion. So what I did was I got up, I stoked the fire, I had this wrapped around me, and got warmed up by the fire, and then I broke out my little Thermarest Trail Small and put that under my core, and that goes from about the back of my neck to my butt, and then I just wrapped up in this one and then put this one wrapped up in that one, and that worked pretty well, but I still had problems with vapor. So before the sun came up, I just kind of unzipped it just enough to get my head out and stuck my head out, and that kind of helped ease the moisture situation. But I think from now on I'm gonna have you know, anytime between 65 and lower, I'm gonna bring my underquilt and a little bit heavier sleeping bag, because it's just too cold. It's too cool at night for this. This, like I said, this didn't work out too bad. I can't really complain. It did keep me fairly warm, but I did get chilly. Other than that, everything else worked out great. Sleeping, or my hammock, I am going to rig this thing a little differently. But everything worked great. It's really accessible and all that stuff. So, you know, I learned a few things. I thought I had my kit pretty well situated the way I wanted it. And most of it still is. But I don't want to use my Zebra Billy Pod anymore. I'm going to use my kettle, at least for the time being, because I don't like to have a pot that doesn't have a spout on it. It's just too difficult to pour. Some of my kit was very reaffirmed, you know, in my mind, saying I really do need this stuff. So that worked out good. But last night in the middle of the night, you could hear the coyotes howling from clear way out over that way. And then a little bit later, they were coming from that way. And we had owls out last night too, so it was a wonderful night to camp out. Only one tick last night, and that wasn't a bad one. It was just a little one that was very lethargic because it was cool out. But I got rid of him, got rid of the wasp. The wasp kind of creeped me out a little bit because it was red, and it was a really funny shape. But got rid of that, and so far everything else is working out great. Like I said, I need to change a few small items in my kit, but otherwise I'm really liking how it's working out for me. I'm going to try to find a little bit bigger bag here for winter, because this isn't quite big enough to hold all my winter stuff, my underquilt and, you know, my heavier sleeping bags and all that kind of stuff. This is good for warm weather, so I might try to find the Rush 72 or maybe go something else. But for the time being, that's it. Alright, everybody's got pretty much everything packed up. Fire's down to nothing but stubs and coals. The tents, they got their tent pretty well packed up. They're in the process of it. My hammock and everything's down us between here and here. Everything of mine's packed up and ready to go. The only thing I left out is my camera, my cigarettes, and my new knife. This is like giving an 8-ball to a crack addict. No offense to any crack addicts out there. This is a bamboo handled Bark River. I'm not 100% on the pattern yet, but it's a really nice knife and it cuts well. I played with it a little bit last night, and I got this from CapnBart1. Like a lot of this stuff, we've come to understanding that 9 out of 10 times whatever I find is something he's gonna like. Whatever he finds is something I'm gonna like, and we always end up trading. So it works out good that way. And it's got a nice little leather sheath with it, like so. And what I'll do is I'll play around and try to find me a piece of wood that looks a lot like that, and I'll make me a ferro rod for it. Not that I use ferro rods, but you know. Anyway, that's what's going on. Bed of the truck, I've got my walking stick and my hand wood or hand drill stick in there, and a spare piece of cedar I need to clean up a bit. But other than that, everything is out of my truck. and we're gonna stop at a gas station on the way home and get some soda or whatever to drive home. And once I get home, I'll edit this and put it up. And I've had a blast. We had really good food and good night's sleep, and nice and cool out, and I like that because I'm a big fan of winter camping. But anyway, that's gonna be it for this one. I'll see you on the next trip.